my goodness. I can't believe Elon Musk trolled them to say this.
Elon Musk, who apparently has adopted the alias, at least he changed his social media handle to Harry Balls, tweeted.
Yeah, you heard that correctly out of the mouth of CNN, as Mr. Harry Balls sure is facing a lot of resistance from all the good old buddies and pals connected to Jeffrey Epstein in the CIA. As I would say, that's not a coincidence, as we just had a major bombshell drop by Glenn Beck that went on the PBD podcast and declared that as soon as the new FBI director is going to set foot in the FBI, he is automatically going to be releasing the Epstein client list, which would mean major, huge shifts and ramifications as, of course, the resistance is now lining up. Who are these people that are trying to stop this list from coming out? Well, we'll name a few of them, as well as the larger kind of connection here to USAID, and, of course, this larger trajectory that we are on that truly is propelling us to live on one of the most entertaining timelines ever. Here's what Glenn Beck had to say that now is raising the alarm bells at a lot of elitist confobs right now.
The only thing I care about is the scandal of the pedophile, and in the next 10 days, you're going to see the Epstein file released.
In the next 10 days?
Next 10 days.
Oh, please.
You think in the next 10 days the whole thing's going to be released?
Yeah.
And what kind of information you have to be able to be that certain about it?
I plead the fifth.
In the next 10 days.
The next 10 days.
Oh, Lord Jesus, please, if there ever is going to be any kind of justice on this earth, it is going to be the releasing of this list. And finally, not just disclosures, but accountability for thousands of children that were hurt here in unspeakable ways. As, of course, we've been talking about this story for many years now. When the corporate media was still promoting this larger kind of Epstein character, we were saying, no, there's a lot of reports of him doing absolutely horrible, awful things. We were one of the few independent media networks out there that were calling this out, saying, hey, there's a bunch of powerful people on private islands taking children there and doing horrible things that they're videotaping in order to get extortion and power over the most influential people in our society. And people were like, ha, 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 you quit. All the fluoride drinkers, all the low IQ people, all the normies, all the NPCs, all in unison, including some of my friends, by the way, that are still in independent media. You're crazy. What? Yeah, right. Yeah, and there's a satellite on the moon. Maybe. No way. Really? You're crazy. You're one of those conspiracy theorists. Look at this day and age that we're in right now, where all of this is coming out. Glenn Beck, of course, was like, I can't say. Of course, I know a little bit more to this. I've been a little bit more tight-lipped myself, for a very specific reason, because I want to see this actually get out there, because the resistance is kind of building up here, and some people would say, Glenn Beck, shh, stop it. You just said, I can't say. And then he said, why? Glenn, come on. You had one mission here. Glenn, by the way, checkered past, especially with some of the things that he also stood up against. And when it came to a lot of people in alternative media, a lot of the quote, he was very anti-conspiracy theorists. It looks like he definitely had a major shift in what he believes within the last few years. But let's be honest here. He's a Johnny-come-lately, okay? Say what you may about Glenn Beck, but he has not the best record being on top of things, especially within the last few years. And I'm just here watching this, being like, Glenn.
Oh,
Glenn,
please.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Next 10 days.
You're
I'm telling
teasing millions who want that list.
Day number 1, Kash Patel walks in. By the end of the day, it will be released.
Oh, please.
Did Kash Patel get confirmed yet?
Not yet. They
Not
delayed
yet.
it.
Did RFK get confirmed yet?
Not yet.
Tulsi?
None of them, though.
House, not Senate. Yeah.
So as soon as he's confirmed, his first day, it will be released.
Oh, I can't wait.
A major big story is, of course, Kash isn't confirmed yet. The Democrats pushed this confirmation a week out as the resistance is now moving forward. As if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, Kash got hacked, allegedly by the Iranians. And we were like, really? The Iranians hacked Kash Patel and just gave all of his private communications to the corporate media? You're telling me it's the Iranians that did all this? As I think they're the perfect scapegoat here for the intel agencies to go after all the people that are wanting to hold them accountable here. As there has been a full onslaught media attack, which I believe has been coordinated with darker elements and more sinister elements of the CIA against Kash Patel that have been trying to subvert and stop him from being confirmed as the future head of the FBI. This is why I said this is one of the most important confirmations. I've talked to Kash Patel. I've done interviews with Kash Patel. I've hung out with Kash Patel. And I was telling people, this is one of the key, most important appointments for Donald Trump. Donald Trump wavered a little bit here. Let's just be real here, because everyone was saying Kash needs to be at a major position of power here, especially with how he helped Donald Trump, especially with how he exposed the CIA and other intel agency con game with the Russian collusion hoax that was all orchestrated with the intel agencies, with the corporate media, with social media, with the Democratic elites, with USAID. All of them were working in conjunction specifically to push this larger narrative that has propelled us into a larger kind of proxy war between Russia. And now Kash Patel was one of the guys who came in there, investigated it, looked into it, exposed it, stopped it in its tracks. And this man also is set to release, I think, the most consequential list of our time. This is the story of the decade that a lot of powerful people want to go away. A lot of powerful people that are also up in arms against all the larger things that are happening with Deutsche, that are happening with Mr. Big Balls, that are happening with Mr. Hairy Balls, that are happening with a lot of people coming into the government and saying, give us the receipts, show us the invoices, show us where the money's going, show us where it's coming out. And a lot of them are just absolutely hyper allergic to this. And I wouldn't say an all-star list, but there's a list of elites, including Bill Gates, Larry Summers, Steven Pinker, Chelsea Clinton, Hillary Clinton, that are all coming out of the woodwork saying, whoa. Stop. We need our CIA secret slush fund that people shouldn't know where all the money goes to. We'll tell you what they're saying, because they're also all connected to Epstein. We'll tell you how in just a little bit. Before we do, we wanted to remind you that this broadcast is supported by our own company at wearechange.shop. Go there right now. Start your own independent health journey. Some of the best products that I vouch for, that I use every single day, are things like Common Sense Creatine. I love creatine. It is something that definitely unleashes your full mental capacity, as it's not just another kind of additive to your workouts. As again, working out, especially when you get older, the results aren't as good as when you're younger. Creatine has helped me get some good results, not just cognitively, but physically, with some really great substances out there. Lots of bullcrap out there in the industry, lots of fillers, lots of nonsense. This stuff right here, some of the best stuff out there. We made sure to source the best stuff. We're getting it from Europe. 99.99% creatine, 60 servings in our box here that we have available to you for $53. That is less than $1 a serving of some of the best creatine on the market. And we saw individuals like Mr. Hairy Balls here, Elon Musk. You can play the video of him describing the power of creatine. He's not talking about our specific product, but we went out of our way to specifically source the best stuff out there. So if you are, especially if you're older, this stuff is incredible. And I have used it every single day. I have gotten tremendous gains. I feel so much more stronger physically and mentally because of this stuff. I love this stuff. The science that's coming out specifically about creatine, absolutely amazing. There couldn't be a safer, more amazing supplement for you to take out there than Common Sense Creatine, available on wearechange.shop. So go there and support us. And by doing so, you allow our independent media to be financed at the same time. The same independent media that literally stormed Epstein's island because there was videos of a guy looking like Epstein that was running around it right after his alleged demise. I went there to the island. I risked it all. And that's the type of work you are financing by supporting your own independent health journey on wearechange.shop. So go there, as of course we still continue this larger fight, as a lot of people who are Epstein's friend are really worried about the CIA slush fund and really worried about the American people finding out where their money exactly is going to. Larry Summers is one of those individuals who Forbes talked about how he had an extensive ongoing relationship with Mr. Epstein that I just decided to highlight and accidentally ratio as he went on Twitter saying, oh no, it's really horrible what Elon Musk is doing here, trying to find out what the Treasury Department is doing. And then I kind of tweeted, hey man, is this you? Thomas Macy actually responded to that. Shouts out to Thomas Macy here, as he is, of course, connected to Epstein. So is Steven Pinker, who also is kind of really pissed off at the CIA slush fund, specifically with NIH grants being cut, specifically saying, please stop cutting our secretive black budgets that we don't want anyone knowing about. Another person, Chelsea Clinton, is also really worried about CIA slush funds being cut here, as a lot of money went missing, especially with the larger Clinton Global Initiative when it came to them trying to, quote, rebuild Haiti, when they were literally just paying off a lot of the people, a lot of the children connected to Democratic politicians like Chelsea Clinton, that funneled huge sums of money that just went missing. As Chelsea Clinton, of course, received a lot of those funds, was connected to a lot of those organizations, as she is saying that she is a proud member of the Clinton Foundation, as it's also important to understand that Ghislaine Maxwell, the pimp of Epstein, was literally at her wedding at one of the most coveted seats in the house there, of course, pictured hanging out with all of them, as Chelsea Clinton's father ditched the Secret Service and, flew with Mr. Epstein himself on his private airplanes, where there were a lot of developments surrounding beds being in there and lots of small children that were underage. Again, they were flying the CIA's favorite aircraft, the 727, that had a backdoor hatch that could have been opened mid-flight and dispose of things that they just didn't want anyone to know or find out or see. As another person that is starting up this larger resistance against the CIA slush fund's USAID money is John Bolton, that previously was in charge of USAID's policies and budget, as he previously talked about, look at the gift that USAID gave me. And then we find out today that USAID was also financing designated terrorist groups and organizations, extremist groups that raked in millions of dollars from multi-year studies, were just conveniently helped out here, again, highlighting it's all the CIA. It's all the intel agencies that were giving money to some of the most awful, horrible organizations and groups on the face of this earth, as there's literal pictures of extremist groups with RPGs all under the banner, all under the tent, financed, paid for by your tax dollars under USAID, with their stamp literally right behind them, as we are finding out more and more bombastic, crazy, huge disclosures here. So this is not a coincidence here. This is not an accident here, as Donald Trump has just revoked the national security clearance for John Bolton, as he is also promising to specifically get into the Epstein list. During the campaign trail, he was like, yeah, I'm open to it. Yeah, let's reveal the Epstein list. And again, what Glenn Beck was talking about here today with this saga, with this specific story, does highlight how, yeah, for the first time in a long time, we might actually be getting a larger kind of purview to who was involved, what they were doing. And to me, it's not a coincidence that a lot of these people who were involved with Mr. Epstein are now all up in arms saying, no, our slush fund, our CIA secret black budgets are being cut here. Stop it. They're all interconnected, according to my own personal opinion. And whether it's Larry Summers, Bill Gates, Chelsea Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Steven Pinker, whoever it is, I think these individuals are going to have a lot of very serious questions asked to them in the future. The Prime Minister of Australia's daughter was hanging out with Epstein, like you saw here in the previous clip. This guy was connected to all of the most influential, all of the most powerful people in our society. The question is what they were doing with him. Is there actually any compromise here? And what Kash Patel is hinting at here is major. Because if you remember, it was the FBI that confiscated all of his hard drives, all of the videotapes, all of his photos that he had specifically saved up, that were specifically labeled in a way that was very convenient for the FBI to kind of pick up as evidence, as it already had the evidence FBI tags on them before they even confiscated them. They went into his safe. They broke into his safe. His apartment buildings in New York City, his complexes, all were wired and rigged with surveillance cameras. Some of the most powerful people coming in and out of those buildings, of those confobs. And the levels of compromise, the levels of information that the FBI has, that allegedly now they lost, I don't know, oh, we don't know what happened, is something that Kash Patel, if he's appointed, if there isn't any larger kind of sabotage attack, because the sabotage has already kind of begun with the hacking, the media attacks. He hasn't been confirmed. So that's why I'm like, Glenn, shh. Let the man be confirmed. Let this happen. Stop giving us a peek here. Stop telling us what's going to happen here. As you know, I have my questions here surrounding this larger disclosure, which is big, which is major, which is something that we, of course, have been, hinting at and knowing about ourselves, but we're like, hey, it's best for it just to happen here. So I don't know. To me, this isn't the best type of disclosure. I would rather it just happened. But the confirmations that we're getting here from Glenn Beck is going to have a lot of powerful people scrambling. It's going to have a lot of people panicking. It's going to have a lot of people that tried to make sure Donald Trump didn't get elected really pissed off. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a lot of elites that are going to be flying out of this country and specifically going to non-extradition places as the PR, marketing, propaganda, disinformation war begins. And you are here with the best seat in the house from the guys that have been calling it accurately from day one. Subscribe, click the notification button, as we are going to be covering this story as soon as it develops. Trust me, we are going to be on the front lines of this story. We have insight here that no one else has, specifically with this specific story, that, again, when the time is right, you guys will find out. Subscribe, click the notification button for that time, or we're going to be very excited. Again, this is the reason. This is the reason I was bullish on Donald Trump. A lot of people are like, oh, no, you're just a Republican. No. This is bigger than just a Republican here, okay? This is game-shifting, monumental changes to our society that are happening right now that are vast, that are big, that are going to have major consequences, earth-shaking consequences, literally. So expect some major news to come. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.